it's never a bad day to react to delusional women getting corrected and destroyed by facts.
When the wind doesn't blow, when we had really cold days, we were reliant on importing from the EU, on coal and on gas. How are we going to replace that in the short term?
Quite frankly, I'm not a scientist. What I am doing is listening to what all the experts are saying. We're living in this insane world where the experts aren't being listened to. It's time to pick a side.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Just Stop Oil activist slams energy company while being hauled into police van.
We don't have time to waste anymore.
Why were you arrested?
For sitting down with my friends after they painted a building. I didn't do anything. I sat on a pavement. And now I've got a bit of orange paint on me, and apparently that's a crime now. I'm not a criminal. I'm a scared little kid trying to fight for their future. The United Nations has called for no more oil and gas. The International Energy Agency has said we can have no new oil and gas. The IPCC report, the largest global report on the climate crisis, have all said we can have no new oil and gas. How many more experts need to say it?
Because we can't do it tomorrow. What are we going to do in terms of transport? That we still need petrol for cars and we need diesel for lorries. How are we going to get goods into supermarkets without this?
Quite frankly, I'm not a scientist. What I'm doing is...
Well, you're not a scientist, but you can actually get the facts straight. You can do any of those things without actually spending energy.
I'm looking at the world and we're living the effects of the climate crisis today.
Right. So what are we supposed to just sit and breathe and not do anything anymore? What about the people who actually need to use their cars so they can work, so they can afford money, so they can actually pay their bills, and not only that, eat and survive?
Right now, people are dying. Children are starving. Families are fleeing their homes.
Exactly. You are literally not helping that situation. Because by you sitting on a freaking pavement, you are stopping people from working and stopping them from feeding their children. You are not helping. You're just making it worse.
Parents! There's a lot of kids in that place! Come on! Move to once and let's just the bus go! Got kids in the bus! Come on, guys! There's a kid in the bus! They need to go to school! You're all parents, aren't you? Do you want to speak on the side? Look, there's a kid in there! My son's gonna go to our family, he's missing it!
Think of all the dolphins that are dying.
Think about the dolphins that are dying. They are so delusional, I swear.
What animal eating from the animal? What animal is talking about? What's animal? Are they human? Please.
Energy.
And it's preventable. We have the solutions.
Cheap energy is one of the things that has hugely extended life expectancy by the ability to control temperatures, whether this is by air conditioning or by heating, the ability to store food more effectively, the ability to transport food, and indeed use fertilizers to grow more food, has all been essential in increasing life expectancy. Taking all that away would be disastrous for life expectancy.
Do you know what's essential in keeping our food supply? Tackling the climate crisis. This year we lost 1/3 of our wheat crops, half of our potato crops, and it's only going to get worse. We're heading to a future where people are going to be fighting over the last loaves of bread at Lidl.
But the only way we get our wheat crop is by putting the fertilizers on that come from fossil fuels. How are we going to replace that? That the productivity of organic farming is so much lower than of modern farming methods. We cannot feed the world on organic farming, and you must know that.
How do you expect to feed the world when our crops are destroyed by droughts, floods, wildfires, storms?
It is so funny that people like her think that individuals like us are the cause for stuff like that. How about looking at really rich people who are abusing it and having these enormous yachts and planes, and these are the ones who are genuinely selfishly destroying the planet. We are doing the minimum. What we individual civilians are doing is almost nothing, and then they make us drink from cardboard or whatever they're called, those straws. No thank you, I ain't doing that.
You've always had weather events that have affected crops, but that actually using fossil fuels for fertilizers and moving on to genetic modification of crops has enormously increased the yield. That since Malthus rate, we've increased agricultural productivity by about 2% per annum. And this is what is allowing people to get extended life expectancy, because they've got more certainty of food. And this all depends on cheap energy, which has come from fossil fuels.
Jacob, you have 6 children. Do you not care about their future? Do you not care about them
Is she listening? Deflecting only? Okay.
being able to feed themselves? Because right now, under this government's policies, your 6 children are heading towards a future that is filled with life-threatening extreme weather events, crop failures, famine, war. Suffering on a scale completely unimaginable.
I think you've taken the evidence for an evolving climate and then applied it in an extraordinarily extreme way and are forgetting about the enormous
I can't believe
advantages.
you're talking to me about an evolving climate.
Well, the climate is...
People are dying.
But this is
Do you
a
know
statement...
how many people are suffering around the world?
What evidence is there that this is because we're using fossil fuels, that the climate evolves, but more people die each year from cold than from heat, as you know?
Have you read the IPCC
I've
report?
looked
What
at
do you mean? What science?
But in terms, you're making extreme claims, but you're suggesting by not using fossil fuels, we would not produce the food we need to feed the world population.
I'm
that would be
suggesting that if
tomorrow.
we keep on heading down this genocidal path of mass destruction, then no, there won't be any food.
That is so brainwashed and uneducated, uninformed completely. And this is, they only see one side of it, but they don't continue fact-checking the facts that already haven't they read about. What he says makes complete sense. Why is she not listening? Because of the energy, less people are dying because when it is cold, they can heat up. And when it is too hot, they can cool down.
Foods in the supermarket. Then we will see vast swathes of the world uninhabitable. We will see mass displacement of people.
But if you took out fossil fuels tomorrow, you would simply not have the productivity of agriculture you need to feed 8 or 9 billion people. And that would be tomorrow. And I'm not saying you shouldn't reduce emissions. I'm not arguing that. I'm simply saying you must do it when you have the technology to replace the energy that you're using.
Yep.
Because otherwise, all the consequences you're arguing for will happen immediately. We will simply not have the food we need to feed the population of the world.
That is so true. Like, instead of just fighting a cause, thinking that, hey, I just want to stop it. No, how about giving us a different solution that works even better? We people like to improve. We like to keep moving forward. So if you bring us something that is more forward, then we're going to be using that for sure. Work more on figuring out things that will help humans and not just trying to stop them. Oh my god, so she's that person. I saw this and I was so mad. I finished art high school and you have no idea how important for me to see these paintings. And this is what she does with it. Something historical, educational, inspiring. Something, a treasure. A treasure. This is how she treats a treasure for her own cause. If this is how we're going to treat beauty in the world, what are we going to be left with? Because art is beauty. Art inspires. Art doesn't do anything wrong. This is not, she didn't throw this at Kim Kardashian, all right? She did that to a picture, an art piece.
What is worth more, art or life?
Why do we have to choose one or the other? And to be honest with you, life without art is just ick. I don't want to live in a world where art does not exist.
Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet and people?
We need to let the ambulance through.
Oh, get out the way! Get out the way!
Yeah.
Now you've got to move. That is terrible.
Ambulance.
They are so annoyed. Oh! He threw a sandwich.
Does he really think he did something? And he's not even a child. He's an adult. Now, this is what makes me think, you know, like when you see a really like older person and you think they are the smartest because they have so much years behind them and they have so many experiences. Keep in mind that people like her, the girl with the pink hair, are gonna grow old with the same ideology and then one day they're gonna do the same thing. Just because they're old doesn't mean that they're smart, okay?
Words has moved to the time for action.
I'm doing this for my son.
I thought it's a real
inaction
one.
on climate change is a death sentence to us all.
In the traffic, and as a result, you're creating pollution.
That is actually so true. If you stop the traffic, you create more pollution because these cars work extra hard and more time, so they create more gas, more fuel, like that. It makes so much sense.
You're creating pollution.
Protesters from the controversial Just Stop Oil group. The aim
Where are they
to break
going?
in and disrupt operations. Several activists have blocked a road nearby.
How long are you going to stay here for?
Just Stop Oil has been doing this around the country for weeks now.
What are they achieving?
Well, what they're saying is they want maximum disruption to stop the government extracting oil and gas.
Yeah, but that's cooking oil.
That's cooking oil. Oh my God, idiots, actual idiots.
Bye, bitch.
Please tell me we will have some, they need more repercussions for this.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, stop it. Humanity
It's a flowers.
is failing. This is a genocide. This is a war on the young.
We are part of Just Stop Oil.
The woman with the water was splashing it over the other girl.
We're asking the government to stop licensing fossil fuels.
Brainwashed completely. Yes.
See ya.
Jail, prison time, immediately. Immediately. It's her again. Just splash their faces with it. I bet it hurts.
How do you get to the demonstration?
We drive.
We actually take my V6 Land Rover.
Oh,
Why do you block roads
interesting.
instead of protest the oil companies?
There's nothing quite like stopping working class people getting to work in the mornings.
Thank you. This is, I mean, I know
Obviously,
that
you
this
get
is
the old
kids, but
far-right extremists saying, we need to get through, I need to get to work to pay for my family. Or the odd ambulance service saying, oh, we need...
what you are literally, you want the people on your side. And what you are doing is making them actually not choosing your side. Not only that, hating on you because you interfered with their private lives. You interfered with their family. And once you go into the family business, that is a place you don't want to mess with. English.
There's someone dying in the back. It's
pathetic.
Yeah.
Here are some protesters gluing themselves to the floor at a Volkswagen dealership.
I'm Gianluca Grimalda. I'm a researcher in social psychology.
You know what I would love? To see them during winter. I feel like it's only like a seasonal spring, summer thing that is going on. Even in Germany here, I don't see them gluing themselves in minus weather on the streets. Where are they then? Huh? Where are you?
At a research institute in Germany, and I'm here in the Porsche pavilion in the Autostadt of Wolfsburg to denounce the responsibility of Volkswagen in the climate emergency that we are facing.
Yeah, it was actually a Porsche dealership owned by Volkswagen, I should point out. But it all went bad after that. You see, the organiser then tweeted, Volkswagen told us they supported our right to protest, but they refused our request to provide us with a bowl to urinate and defecate in a decent manner while we are glued, and they've turned off the heating. Well,
Thank
good
you.
on you, Volkswagen.
Just Stop Oil morons take 56. I mean, I just don't see any upside now to what these Just Stop Oil protesters are doing. They are deliberately wrecking ordinary people's, in many cases, hard-earned enjoyment, watching sport that they love. And for what?
Today, there was more disruption at Wimbledon from the rain than there was from the protest. So I think you're making much of it. I think they are doing a good job because they
The
continue...
rain, The rain is something they are used to deal with, and they have to like, you cannot change the weather. These are things you cannot change. You either live with, and rain, like, come on. They are definitely used to they are definitely used to rain, but like, this is something you can change. This is something you don't have to deal with. And if there's something you don't have to deal with, you don't want to deal with.
To put this issue on the news agenda.
But everybody hates them.
Again, an exaggeration.
Well, it's not an exaggeration. Listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. Here.
Okay, that's not everybody, is it, Piers?
Yeah, it is the majority, all right? It is the majority, and not only that, like, people paid for this to go and watch this in peace. They don't want to spend time, like, it disturbed their pleasure time. It disturbed something that they even paid for, all right? You don't even know how much they had to save money to be there and watch this, and also the sportsmen and sportswomen who were into this, like, how much they work hard to be into these competitions and do their job. Like, why are you doing this? They're not the ones you are targeting.
That's the crowd at Wimbledon.
You should be targeting.
That's
the crowd cheering at Wimbledon.
Right. That whole crowd at Wimbledon, like the whole crowd at Lord's, I was there for that. Like all the crowds at all these events that they're wrecking or trying to wreck with their attention seeking. The truth is the British public are absolutely sick and tired of it.
They don't even know who funds them. Who funds you guys?
Just donations from the public.
Right. Do you know that Just Stop Oil has taken massive donations from, oil dynasties such as Jean-Paul Getty? Do you know that? Sorry?
No, it's massive.
No, it has.
Oh.
Do you want me to show you?
No, we're not.
You are. I've just told you. You're funded by the Climate Emergency Fund in LA, of which the majority of them are heirs to oil dynasties, including Jean-Paul Getty.
I'll have a sensible debate about climate science and the climate crisis. And
You have no sensible debate. You have no debate. You don't even know what you heard somewhere. So, and you want to be with the cool kids. You want some exposure. You want to go out and do something with your life. Because it is miserable if you don't have a cause.
the just energy transition, but there's no point if you're just going to throw mud that doesn't make any sense.
I'm telling you facts. How's that mud? Look, this is your favourite newspaper, The Guardian. Just Stop Oil's spring uprising protest funded by US philanthropists. LA-based Climate Emergency Fund donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to activists. They include Jean-Paul Getty, whose oil dynasty made him a multi-billionaire.
Reducing emissions is really important, and I do understand the cause, but the way they are doing it is completely wrong. And I don't know if this is a seasonal thing. Let's see spring, summer coming into Europe as well as America, what we can see and expect from these delusional people who are doing it completely wrong. But yeah, that is it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and see you in the next video. Bye.